Welcome back to the Deep Dive podcast on this Saturday morning, the first real day of college football, which we'll get into a little bit earlier, a little bit later. Um, just want to hit on a few things that can kind of happen um, through the week. And as we kind of said last week, I had actually said that Jerry would get the deal done as far as his standoff with Micah Parsons, and actually he ended up getting it done, but not what I thought he would do. I actually thought he would sign him, but the Cowboys didn't, and the Cowboys traded their, I guess you could call him their all-world edge rusher to the Green Bay Packers for two first-round picks and defensive tackle Kenny Clark, which was I think actually was a good deal. The only issue that I really had in this whole thing was I just thought that the Cowboys would probably get the deal done with Parsons just for the fact of he's 26 years old. Um, I mean he's a good player. I'm not gonna say he's great at this point. So it was kind of a shocker. I know Cowboy nation out there is definitely crashing out, which um, I can kind of understand. Um, you never want to see one of your top players leave, but I think I think in the long run, I think in the long run, this might end up turning out to be a good deal for both teams. But I think the Cowboys, if they do things the way they should do it, this could turn out to be pretty good for them. You got the two number one picks. You got a defensive tackle, a Pro Bowl, a three-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle. Your cap is not out of control. I think they got like $42 million they can spend. Um, or they $42 million under the cap, and that's great. I mean, to be paying your quarterback big time money and one of your receivers big time money. Um, so with that said, the as you can see, the Cowboys traded Marcus Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. The Packers gave him $188 million, which I think about 120 of that was guaranteed. So the Packers really they went all in on this deal. They went in there and basically got their man that they wanted. Yeah, so they gave him $188 million, 120 guaranteed. He making him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. And I kind of believe that this was going to happen. I knew that they had to give him more than a little bit more than what TJ Watt got, but I was more on the thinking of he was going to get about 40, 42, 43. This come out to about 47, which wow, that's a lot. And to be honest, if this was the contract that they were shopping to the Cowboys, I could see why Jerry Jones did not want to pay this. Um, like I say, Parsons he's a way above average player, but I mean he's been hurt the last 2 years. Um, you know, I don't know. That's just that's a tough situation to be in. I mean, like I say, the really kicker is he's 26 years old. So he has another chance to, from his standpoint, he has another chance to maybe get another big contract. He'll be 30. He'll be 30 when this contract runs out. So that was really the only sticking part for me was the fact that he was just so young. and a lot of times you don't want to let young good players get away from you, especially. I mean, he's trending in the right direction. I just don't know if he's worth what they paid him, but he's trending in that direction, and you can't really be. I really can't fault the Green Bay Packers, and I can't even really say that they just overpaid him. I mean, like I said, they paid him more than what I expect him to get, and more than what I would probably pay him. But um, you can't really call that a bad deal. So the Packers gave up three-time Pro Bowler Kenny Clark is headed to the Cowboys, which from what Jerry Jones say, this is what they needed. I needed a guy to help stop the run, and I mean, you can't really argue that. So I think the Cowboys in the end, like I say, you got two number one picks. More than likely they're going to be late round picks, but the point you got two number one picks, so you can always package those deals if it's something that you need to move up in the draft to get. You got a young quarterback, so you're really not in that market. Maybe if you had to package to get a offensive lineman or something like that. Um, so like I say, from Green Bay standpoint, it was a good deal. And I guess from the Cowboys standpoint, like I say, they got the picks, so like I say, they can always package those picks to get up and move and kind of start over again. It's almost like a reset for the Cowboys a little bit. So I think in the end, I think in the end, I think both teams won. Like I say, the Cowboys are like 42 million under the cap now. And they got two extra first round picks. They got a defensive tackle, a Pro Bowl defensive tackle. Well, you left a big hole in the rush, your edge rusher part of your defense, but you find somebody to, you can't find a person to replace him, but you can find those guys. You could find those edge rushers in the draft sometimes. So, and like I say, with the extra picks, you never know. You can get lucky and get another guy and basically start all over again with that rookie contract. So, like I say, I get it in a way how Jerry probably was looking at this, but who knows? At the end of the day, how it's gonna work out. Like I say, I think it's gonna work out for both teams. So, and then the last thing we're gonna hit on is college football is back. Got some big time games. Got some big time games. Uh, Today, and what I'm gonna try to do is always just try to hit on. I always gonna try to hit on the game of the week. And so this week it was very easy, very easy. Game of the week this week is the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Texas Longhorns. Jeremiah Smith versus Arch Manning. This should be a great game. Um, the Buckeyes beat Texas in the playoffs um, last year, 28-14. Both teams have lost a lot. I mean, the Buckeyes lost a ton of guys. Texas lost a ton of guys. I know Manning, he did play a little bit last year, but for the most part, this is his coming out party. I think matter of fact, the Buckeyes knocked him out of the playoff game last year because he came in for a couple of plays and they put a lick on him. And I don't know if he was the starting quarterback in that game, if he would have been able to come back. I think he got concussed. So this should be a great game. This is a great early week week one game, college football. So I'm excited. Like I say, college football, I love it, and especially when they have good games. It's a few good games today, so I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy some football and see how these games go. And with that said, that's pretty much it for today's show. We'll be back with you next week. And until then, give me a like, share, and subscribe. We're trying to grow this station. Until then, take care, and we will talk to you guys later. Bye bye.